You are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin.
What is going down? What the fuck is going down? It is your boy Studio MacGyver, and you are listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin. Welcome to the podcast, guys. Welcome to the show. If you're new to the podcast, welcome. If you're into anime, video games, then you've come to the right place because we talk about all of that shit here. This is a gaming podcast with a little anime and nerd culture for seasoning. Okay, in case you didn't know. But anyway, this is going to be episode 284. I got a few things I want to talk about, guys. There's a lot of things on the horizon, a lot of things to be excited about if you are a gamer. And let's get into it, man. Let's get into some of this stuff. I want to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie trailer. And I got to say, it was pretty breathtaking. I love what they're doing graphically with the characters. I love how they look. I love the humor. I love where they're going with this. This is definitely going to be a fun movie to go see. Take out the family. It's a movie perfect for, I think, anybody. I think this would be good to go out by yourself, to go out to take a date, take your family. I think it's dope. There's been a little controversy, a little bit, when we talk about the voice actor for Mario, the American voice actor for Mario. And there's been a little controversy there. How I feel about it personally, I personally think that it's okay. It's passable. It's passable. I'll say that. And I won't go any further into that. I mean, a lot of people aren't happy with his voice. Okay. They think he should sound a little bit more like Mario. But, I don't know if as a fan, somebody could listen to quote unquote Mario from the video games for an hour and a half, 2 hours, however long the movie is. I think it'd be cool, but most of us don't really hear Mario talk. He doesn't talk too often. He says a few words and then that's it. And we move on. So I don't know, man. I'm going to have to watch the whole movie to get a gauge on it. It may grow on me and you guys as well. I don't know. I'm interested to know how you guys think when it comes to this movie. I think as far as the visuals and everything like that, I think it's going to be awesome. They did a lot of different minor tweaks to the Mario character, just little stuff like he's got a collar on his shirt, or if you looked at his gloves, you can kind of see there's a slit on the side of his gloves, just little things here and there or whatever. Okay. But yeah, I think it's cool. I think, it's livening it up a little bit. And I think another reason why they did that is to sell merch. Okay. That's those little slight changes. That is going to differentiate himself or that version of Mario from all the other Marios, because when they sell this, you'll say, oh, this is from the actual movie, the animated movie, because he has this and he has the collar and he has all these things. I think that's just a marketing type of thing on the inside. When you guys think about marketing teams and all of that, there's a lot that goes into that. Those things run very deep, so deep sometimes we have no idea as a basic regular consumer what really goes into these things, man. Sometimes people are sitting in the boardrooms for fucking weeks talking about just those things and how to capitalize on those things. I hate the corporateness in a lot of stuff, but it's part of the business. It's part of the game. Okay. It's all about money at the end of the day for the most part. Most of this stuff is surrounded by money. Even if things were born out of pure just love and interest and maybe a hobby or whatever, if it hangs around long enough, it's only a matter of time because money will eventually work its way in for the good or for the bad. Okay. So I don't know. It just is what it is. It's part of the game and it has to be accepted, I guess, to a certain degree. And sometimes we see where that can get us. Sometimes it's people, companies, corporations, they do things that they think they may get away with and it ends up biting them in the ass. We've seen so many things that happen like that, not just in the gaming community, but just everywhere personally. And the gaming community is just something I happen to cover and I happen to love a lot. So, you can't escape it. It's everywhere. I thought there were some things that were avoidable because I was a fan of this beautiful thing we call gaming, but it goes everywhere. There's no escape from the corporate monsters, from just everything involved that's going on in the world. It trickles down and it gets into everything. There's really no escape, okay, so to speak. There's always going to be a little bit of something sticky on your hand when you're talking about stuff like that. And it's just the nature of the beast. I've grown to I've grown to live with it and just keep it in the back room somewhere or in the basement and only deal with it when I have to. Anyway, thought the movie trailer was awesome. I'm interested to see what you guys think about that, and maybe leave a comment, hit me up on any of my handles. Let me know what you think about the movie or what you're excited for. Maybe it's not the movie. Maybe it's another game, something, whatever. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter at Studio MacGyver. Whatever you guys want to do, I'm here and I'd like to respond. Okay. Moving on. We want to talk about a game that I really personally, I can't believe this one slipped under my radar. And it's coming out this year, at the end of this year, matter of fact. And this is Dragon Quest Treasures. Now, Dragon Quest, big fan of Dragon Quest, the series. There's a lot of people I know personally who love this series. And when you think Dragon Quest, you usually associate that with a turn-based RPG type of game, right? And that's usually how, most people typically think of that franchise. But Dragon Quest Treasures is a little different. I didn't know this was a mobile game at one point or some sort. And now it's being converted for the Switch. It's, of course, a Nintendo Switch exclusive, but it comes out December 2nd. And it has to do with two characters from Dragon Quest 11, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't play Dragon Quest 11 myself. My favorite Dragon Quest game up until later in it was Dragon Quest 8. But Dragon Quest 11, these two characters, brother and sister, are going to be teaming up and their children. So this takes place before the events of Dragon Quest 11. And you run around and you're collecting treasure. Okay. And this is not a turn-based game. This is a actual action RPG, more in my wheelhouse, so to speak. If I had to choose between turn-based or action RPG, I'm going to go action RPG all the time. That's just me personally. Now, I'm not going to say that there isn't or aren't any awesome RPGs, period, because there are some awesome ones that are turn-based for sure. A shit ton of them. But, if I had to choose one, this one's cool. And this is probably another thing, a reason why it piqued my interest, because it's a Dragon Quest game that's not turn-based. And the world looks pretty awesome. The world looks pretty cool. And I'm really liking the aesthetic of the game. So I am going to be picking this one up. I am definitely going to be picking this one up, adding it to the library and seeing what it does. I wonder how much it's going to be. It may be full price. We'll see. But yeah, this is definitely one I want to pick up. This is one of those niche games that not everybody's checking for, but there's some, you either really checking for it if it crossed your path and you're excited about it, or it's something that, whatever, you may play it, you may not. I fall under the umbrella of I'm really anticipating this game. This is one that I really want to play. So December 2nd, keep that on your radar. If you're a Nintendo Switch player and you want something different and you want something in the universe of Dragon Quest, definitely check this one out. Give it a gander. Now I want to talk about some Cyberpunk. This last few weeks with me and this show, if you've been listening, it's been a lot of Cyberpunk going on because of the resurgence of the new update, which is 1.6. Everybody's waiting for 1.7. Everybody's waiting for that next DLC, which is coming 2023. I'm guessing first quarter, but they haven't given us any concrete date. We just know 2023. And this is going to be the last expansion that they give us for this said game. There's a lot of news that just came out recently, and I'm surprised, to be honest, that they're doing so much. But everybody's saying that, and this is coming straight from CD Projekt Red's mouth, they're working on like 4 to 5 different projects. I think maybe even up to 6. I can't get I can't remember which one exactly, but they have a number of projects in the works right now, guys. And a lot of them are going to be The Witcher. They're doing a new trilogy. It's going to be three games. Okay, with a new character. I'm excited about that. And they're going to be using I think they're going to be going with the Unreal Engine 5 for that. Yeah, I think they are Unreal Engine 5 for that. They're currently already in production on one of the games. But a lot of Cyberpunk fans are taken aback because they also announced a sequel to Cyberpunk. So they are going to be making a Cyberpunk sequel. Okay. A sequel to this game. Everybody's excited about that because they're going to be ditching the Red Engine, which they used to do the last game. And they're going to be going with the Unreal Engine 5. I think everybody's converting for the most part. Most of the AAA studios are trying to adopt this new engine, which they should be. And I'm so happy to hear that because I am all for game studios, making their own engines and all of that. That's awesome. And I really liked the Red Engine. But I would have liked it more if they would have been able to dedicate their team to just one generation of consoles. Okay. I think the fall and the reason why, they had that stumble with Cyberpunk 2077 is because they were stretching themselves way too thin. They were obligated to do this game for multiple devices and multiple generational devices. So you had PlayStation 4 and you had 5. I mean, how are devs really supposed to, given this assignment, and make everything spread out? But you can't make it too good, or you can't, do too many things, because then you're taking away from, the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox Ones. So you're constricting, then you're making more things and you have to draw it back again. It's just a constant tug of war. And I could only imagine what those devs had to go through in that process of making this game, as opposed to be giving a clean slate and saying, hey, we're going to focus on this system, these systems here. Here are your parameters. Here's the most you can do with these. Here's the cap for all things here. Live within this wheelhouse. You don't have to worry about, okay, the cap is 500 here, but then over here on the last gen, you still got to work with them. And the cap is 300 with there. So there's 200 things, 200 points that you can't live within. So you have to downgrade. And you have to play that game with the current gen systems. So it was a mess, man. It was just a mess. And that's the reason why we had this debacle. We had this fumble, and I pulled that card on the higher ups, the suit and ties in the industry, the big bosses, and all those guys up there who don't know shit about video games, of course. And they're telling the devs, hey, we set this date. It needs to release on this date. Our shareholders are not going to be happy, yada, yada, yada. And no matter what the devs said, the devs are probably telling these guys, look, we're not going to be ready by this. And they're telling the devs, make it ready. Okay. And then when it comes out, we'll deal with the consequences. And that's what happened. Okay. That could have killed CD Projekt Red. That could have easily killed this company. I mean, a lot of companies have died for far less. Okay. The reason why they're still breathing right now is because they're CD Projekt Red. Let's keep it real with each other, on the strength of the past games, The Witcher 3 and things of that. Okay. And the company being who they are up until this point. They were always noted as a company who were a player's company. Okay. They looked at the player and put them first. That's how the devs like to see themselves. Even the quality and everything in their games, how they present the games, how they sell us a basic game. Okay. Their basic game, $60 game, was not your basic $60 game. Okay. Theirs had more shine and polish to it. Okay. You got extra cases. You got goodies involved with your purchases with CD Projekt Red. So they just took care of their customers. And that's why it was really hard for me to kind of stomach what was happening when Cyberpunk first came out. And now I'm happy to note that they're going to be using a new engine, Unreal Engine 5, which everybody's using. Okay. Now, which is, I'm so excited about, because this is what we should be doing with these current gen consoles. You have Tekken 8 using it. Street Fighter 6 is going to be glorious. I mean, and the list goes on with future games. I'm so excited for 2023, the first quarter. Really, I'm excited for really now, and then moving on until the first quarter of 2023. There's going to be, a plethora of games, guys, that, they're going to be so awesome. Okay. So get ready, get your popcorn ready. It's going down. I mean, I'm having a great time playing games right now. I'm just playing all kinds of shit and going back on my backlog and just enjoying shit, man. And really going back to my roots. You know what I'm saying? I'm just having a blast right now. I'm just in a good place in gaming right now. We've all had times, if we've played video games long enough, a lot of you guys can attest to this, where we've just been playing shit to be playing shit sometimes. and we're not really into what we're playing, so to speak. We're kind of just moving along with it, and we're trying to get it over with, or we don't even finish it. We're kind of just, and we're just jumping from game to game. But then we also have those moments where we're just enjoying ourselves game after game after game. I'm telling myself, okay, when I finish this, I'm going here or I'm going there. It's crazy. But right now, I'm just very happy and fortunate that there's going to be a lot of shit on the horizon. And I can't wait to talk about some of this stuff with you guys. But anyway, the Cyberpunk game has been giving a sort of name. I don't think this is going to go down as the final name, of course. They usually start out with Project whatever. And that's what this is. This is Project Orion, Orion. And some people are saying, oh, it's going to be Cyberpunk 2078. We don't know. Right now, that's what the name is. And of course, this game is a long ways off, guys. I'm going to guess and say at least 4 to 5 years before we fucking see this game come out. I'm just being honest with you. They haven't even started pre-production. OK, so they're just at a round table, having conversations, taking notes, things of that nature. Now that's the basics of it. OK, they got a team that they're supposedly going to be moving to the United States, because if you guys didn't know, their company, CD Projekt Red, is not based in the United States. OK, I want to say Poland, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, they're going to have a team that is going to be dedicated to this game, and they're going to be in Boston. OK, so they're going to be doing that. They're going to build a building over there, a fortress, whatever you want to call it. And they're going to get busy. Okay, so it's going to be a long time. And like I said, we'll be seeing the new Witcher games before we start seeing these games. All right, so get ready for that. It's just something to look forward to. And we still have this last DLC, this major DLC for Cyberpunk 2077, because there's a lot of people who still want to live within that world and still love Night City. And I understand that completely. I understand that. You just don't want it to end. You want to run around and do shit. You know, I would love to have other things to do in that world. I mean, and I'm sure that they had a lot of these things that they said they wanted to give us. Because if you don't remember, like before Cyberpunk 2077 came out, we were promised a lot of different things. Okay. And I think their intention was to give us those things. But when we got in that time crunch, and then they finally figured out, yo, we're not going to be able to put this on PlayStation 4s and Xbox Ones. We're not going to be able to do it. So then they had to fucking cut the shit. Okay. They literally had to cut it. And now you understand why. If I gave you any idea of what those companies have to go through when you're putting sort of a crunch like this is what happens. Okay. They had to draw that stuff back because they couldn't put it all in the other older versions. Okay. So now, hopefully with this update, we get all the things that were promised and we're going to be able to play those. That's why the next DLC is not going to be for last gen consoles. There's no way they can do it. There's no way the machines can handle it. The memory is not going to be is expansive enough to deal with that stuff. So I think we're going to see a lot of this stuff finally come back with this final DLC. So hopefully they send us off with a bang and we can, we can really give a decent farewell to Cyberpunk 2077 when we finally finish this last expansion. That's what I'd say. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Cannot fucking wait. All right. Let's talk about some Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2, man. What is the phenomenon with Overwatch 2? I personally am not an Overwatch player, but I've seen people go batshit crazy over this game. And apparently they're doing it again. It's a lot of shit, okay, associated with this game right now that I've been hearing. All right. They've been under attack, DDoS attacks. I mean, they're going through a lot of shit right now. So they've been hacked. They're going through shit. There's some sort of glitch where if you fucking try to type in some shit and you hit the space bar twice, then you automatically get charged for fucking in-game shit. They're charging you for shit. It's a lot of shit going on. Okay, with this. And then to add insult to injury, people can't play the game when they want to play it. Like the queue to get in the game is a fucking mile long. So even if you're lucky enough to get into the game, which most people aren't, that's a problem in itself. So there's a lot of shit going on with this game right now. And that's not even talking about it's a free to play game. It's supposed to be free to play, but there's a lot of different stipulations in this whole thing. Okay. So if you've never played the game before, you want to get into Overwatch and you never played the first one, then you have to unlock all of those characters first. And to do that, you have to commit yourself to a lot of grinding to unlock all these characters. Okay. And if you don't want to grind, then you can buy this pack, which I think is like $40, and then it'll allow you to get your heads up in the game. But people don't want to do that. You know, this is supposed to be a quote unquote free to play game, but there's a lot of things that involve this. Okay. Then there's a phone number association thing where you have to literally connect your phone number to this. And then they have to go through to verify. So basically they're trying to prevent people from getting like extra accounts, multiple accounts, and doing fucked up shit online that way. So that's going to be preventing them. So everybody made a big ass stink about it. And then they kind of backtracked a little bit and said, okay, everybody who were Overwatch players before, you're grandfathered in, don't have to worry about it. But this is going for all the new players that are coming in, that this is definitely going to have to be done. And you cannot progress any further unless you do this. So there's a lot of shit. And that's just, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of other things going on with this game. And it's a mess right now. It's a goddamn mess. And I don't understand why the team wasn't prepared for this. Whenever you have a game that's on the horizon, that's coming out, you should know better. You should have your ducks in a row. And now they're in disarray. And this is why, me personally, I don't like playing a lot of online games. If I play an online game, I need it to be more than that. In other words, you'll never really see me buy a game that is just online multiplayer only. You'll very rarely see me, if at all, buy a game like that. Because I need to know that I'm spending my money on something that I can play for years beyond. That's just how I'm built. I understand that a lot of games are not built that way. There are just games that are built to run off this server, off of that. And I understand that. But if you love a game, I'm that guy who doesn't want to fall in love with the chick and then get his heart broken. I don't want to fall in love with this franchise, this game, and it has a life expectancy of a few years and then it's a wrap, and maybe even shorter than that, because I may love this game and the community may not be up to par with how I feel about the game. And there's not enough of us who love the game for them to keep the servers running. So they cut it off. Okay. Babylon's Fall, perfect example. I'm sure there were one or two people out there, maybe, who actually liked that game, maybe, and wanted to continue playing it, or maybe had hours invested in it. And then they're hearing that, oh, in February 2023, this game is going bye-bye. People are burning these games. They're fucking trashing them. They're coasters. And you have no power. That is nothing you can do about that. And that's my issue with online only games. That's what you get. And I can't get with that. I can't get behind that, game. So if I'm buying a multiplayer game, it had better had a story mode to it or something else, or the online multiplayer had better be a caveat to the game. Perfect example of that, Ghost of Tsushima. Perfect example of that. Love that game to death. That's probably my number one PlayStation 4 game. And that's saying something, because God of War, The Last of Us 2 are up there as well. So those top three right there, depending on what day I wake up and how I'm feeling, Ghost of Tsushima could be number one day, and so on and so forth. God of War or Last of Us 2. So depending on what kind of time you ask me or wake me up is what you'll get. So it always changes. But those three games right there. But Ghost of Tsushima is a game that the story is beautiful. The gameplay is excellent, but the caveat to that is there's an online mode, which is also kick-ass and also is a lovely addition to that. And I absolutely enjoyed myself. And that's one of the games that I consider myself to be one of the top tier players in, especially within my circle of friends. When we got together online and played that game, I was that guy. I was the samurai who would save everyone. And I just, there's certain games you just have a niche for, and you just, you're really good at playing it. And this is one of these games. I really love that game, and the online was just as good. So that's just that. If there's something else, now I think if they sold that separately, I think they do, where you can play that separately if you wanted to. I want to say you could, but I need the whole experience. I need a story mode with my shit. Okay, that's just me whatever. Now, if it's something free to play, okay, cool. I never spent any money on it. And that still doesn't matter sometimes. Sometimes free to play games people are in love with, and then they hear, oh, this game is coming to an end. They're going to shut down the servers and so on and so forth. And that's just the nature of the beast, you know. A game I never got to play was Dragon Ball Online. Okay, it was a fucking MMO Dragon Ball game, and I never got a chance to play that, you know, and I've always wanted to play that. And I hope to God that we get another one of those type of games. I really do. I think one day we will eventually get another MMO Dragon Ball game. The closest thing comes to that right now is the Xenoverse series right now. But I hope we really get a true to life MMO based on Dragon Ball, or Naruto for that matter. That any one of those will fucking do. Okay. And I would love them dearly, but that's just not what we live in right now. So that's my take on that, guys. Overwatch 2, you know, I hope if you guys are out there listening and you love Overwatch, I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to say a prayer for you, and I hope that you get through it. I hope that you guys figure it out. And I think eventually all that shit will be ironed out eventually, but that's just not a headache I'm willing to deal with. And I'm thankful that I'm not a fan of that franchise, and I have other games on my palette that I would rather take my time playing. So that's that. Moving on. A game I'm really excited about this month, which just crept up on me, and I didn't even know it was coming out this month. I could have sworn this was coming out next year, but I get my dates mixed up all the time, guys. And this game here is a Xbox exclusive, and I'm currently playing one of them right now, which is a Plague Tale, and this one's a Plague Tale Requiem, and this comes out October 18th. Okay, now I'm playing the original right now, but I'm stuck. I stopped playing it because I'm stuck in a saved glitch. So in other words, as soon as I load up the game and I start playing it, I am basically going to die and get mauled by rats. Okay, every time. For whatever reason, when I got to a section of the game, something happened and I made it to the next area, but not enough to where I got escaped for the rats. If you played this game, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm caught in this death loop, pun intended, and I can't get out of it. I think the only way to get out of it is I'm going to have to start back from the beginning of that chapter, which I didn't want to do, which I may do now because I've been away from it long enough, but I didn't want to do that shit. And I may have to go back in there and do that. But I was definitely looking forward to this sequel of this because the sequel has a little bit more combat oriented, and you get a little bit more you have a little bit more at your disposal as far as how you handle people and enemies and things of that nature. So looking forward to that. Definitely. Other than that, I just, I'll get into that. I'll get into what I'm playing here shortly, but I'm looking forward to that one for damn sure. Definitely looking forward to that. Now I want to talk about this topic, and I've talked about it before a little bit, and I'm just I got to say it. There's a lot of people out here in these video game streets that feel a certain kind of way about Sony and how they're handling the Activision deal. Okay. And I'm going to be the first to tell you and admit this to you as a Sony fan. Okay. Look, they're going a little overboard. Okay. They're really trying to stop this acquisition from taking place. And I don't think they can. I don't think they can stop it. I think this deal is going to go through, guys. If I'm not mistaken, I want to say one of the guys from Sony went to another country to, I guess, sell him the idea of, look, not going through with it or backing out of their portion of the deal. And they're not going to do that. They're not going to back out of it. Because what Sony's arguing, and I talked about this last week, I think a little bit, is that this acquisition is almost like a monopoly move on the gaming industry. So they think that, because Microsoft made this move, then they have the Call of Duty series, and that's one of the biggest series in gaming. And they're basically saying that they're going to power bomb everybody else in the industry, so to speak. And that wouldn't be fair. Just like an equivalence to me personally having trillions of dollars and saying, you know what, I want to buy all the game franchises, the top 10 game franchises of all time. And I'm just going to put out straight crap from here on out. And if you want to buy it, you're going to have to come to me because I'm the only person that's selling it. You can't buy it any other place. There's no other game companies making it. And that was the argument that Sony was trying to make with with Xbox, with what they're trying to do. But Xbox, let's keep it real, man. They're just trying to they're dealing the cards they were dealt. They're just trying to play, their cards, man. You can't hate that. They made that move first. They have the money to do it. And I personally believe that Sony will be fine. A lot of people are saying that, no, this would kill Sony and all this other shit. And I'm like, no, this is not going to kill Sony. Sony is the blockbuster system. They have plenty upcoming games, plenty current games that they are cool with. Okay. And I think they're going to be okay with. Okay. Let me give you a better example. Nintendo does not have the franchise, never had the franchise, and they are the number one system right now. The Switch is the number one selling system out of all of them, out of Sony, out of Microsoft, all of them. Okay. And why? Off the strength of their own IPs, because they have their own IPs, their own games, their exclusive titles, and they're rocking that shit. Okay. That's all it's about. Build your brand and cater to your fans. And that's all Nintendo has done for the most part, because they do dumb shit sometimes. But for the most part, they cater to their fans, and they have a extensive, beautiful IPs, plural. They have a gang of IPs. All right. And people fuck with them for a reason. I fuck with them for a reason. I love Nintendo too. Okay. Nintendo was the first introduction for me into gaming. Okay. The very first Nintendo entertainment system. All right. I remember getting Game Boys for Christmas as a kid, doing backflips all around the house and shit. Like, Nintendo's history is there. And anybody who thinks that the Switch cannot compete with current gen systems right now because of the hardware, they're smoking Sherm, because that is not why most of us play them. Most of us play games because we love certain games. All right. Most of us aren't looking for, it has to have these kind of graphics and all this. Now, it's cool to have some of those games and to experience some of that stuff, but that's not the only reason, because you can have a beautiful looking game and it can be a beautiful piece of shit. And that's just real. Okay. The Switch is just I don't know how to even put it in context. It's just doing its thing. Like, I don't know. Some of my favorite games of all, I'm talking about all the systems combined and all this, come from the Nintendo Switch. And they're not by far the most powerful system in the clique. By far, they're the most inferior, if I'm being honest. Okay. I'm just telling you, Breath of the Wild, Astral Chain, Daemon Ex Machina. These are some of my favorite games of all time here. All right. I just bought Bayonetta like this past week. That's what I've been playing. I literally just stopped playing this. I'm stuck on a boss right now, but I love fucking Bayonetta. Love Bayonetta. Fell back in love with Bayonetta. I cannot wait for Bayonetta 3. Oh my God, it's going to be so crazy. And I forgot how dope Bayonetta 1 was, because they had recently put out the game on its own separate disc. And before, it was on you had to download only. So I had to get it. So I went and got it. I think it's on my Instagram. I posted it. But anyway, it's there. I'm having a ball playing it. I cannot wait for 3. 3 is going to be so crazy. But anyway, like I said, you're not getting these franchises. Like, where else you going to get Bayonetta? Bayonetta was birthed from Nintendo's, like, one of the baddest bitches out here in these video game streets. Okay. Especially if you're in the Devil May Cry and games like that. I mean, come on, man. Platinum Games is one of my favorite developers. You know this. I've said it so many times, and this is why, because they make shit like this. Okay. But you're getting that from Nintendo. All right. And this is coming from Nintendo. So everybody has a part to play, is what I'm saying. So Sony's going to be okay. I understand being shook by that, because you are eventually, when this merger or whatever this happens, whenever this deal finally goes through, which is going to take, some years before they make this franchise exclusive to Microsoft. They even said it's going to be like maybe 7-8 years before it's finally gets to that point. And then they may get there and say, well, we decided to change our minds and we're not going to make it exclusive, because we may make ourselves more money by continuing to let other consoles use and play this game, and we get a cut off of that. So they can play this in a number of different directions. That's why they bought the company. Okay, so they can get these deals, because let's keep it real, like Microsoft has been lagging for quite some time. They really have. Now they have Game Pass, which is awesome and excellent, and there are some stuff coming out there. But when you're talking about first party games, well, they don't have any really. They have very few. Okay, and if the ones that they do have, I mean, one of the major ones is not coming out till next year, got pushed back. So they're trying to change it, and everything changes. Nothing lasts forever. So moves are made like this, and they're going to change some things up. Now, I'm not saying that Microsoft is going to surpass Sony, but this will definitely put them neck and neck, if anything, or maybe even slightly above as far as sales and things of that nature. Once those things kick in and they decide to make a decision on how they want to distribute that game or those IPs going forward, if they want to take them from Sony or if they don't. What Sony needs to be worried about, if I'm being real, is its own IPs. Keep doing what they're doing. Keep working on franchises. Keep your God of Wars coming. Keep your exclusives coming, like your Final Fantasy 16s and your Forspokens. Keep working on those, because those are all bangers. I will be buying them all. So working on those things and doing that, keep doing what makes you great. All right. You have a lot of beautiful IPs as well, and I would be focused on those. There's a lot of them that I would be focused on. So go there, do that. Okay. Make those acquisitions. You should be buying, From Software, and you should be buying companies like that and focusing there. I think they'll be okay, guys. Sony's a Japanese company, and like I said, a lot of their fan base is based there. And like I said, I fuck with Sony really because of their ties with the Japanese companies, and Nintendo as well. Okay. They have games that are just, their devs are just crazy in a good way. Okay. They just come up with dope shit. They just really do. And that's why I love them so. And hopefully, now Microsoft can make its way in, because like I said, everybody brings something to the table. So I think Sony's okay, but a lot of people, you're either on one side of the fence or the other for most part. You got the Sony fans crying, and then you got the fucking Microsoft fans, gloating and all this type of stuff. So, when it comes to all that back and forth shit like that, and playing favorites and console wars and all that shit, man, I really am not into that. I just truly believe that everybody should just have fun and enjoy their games. If you like Xbox or all you have is Xbox, hey, run with it. You're no less of a player for not having a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4 or whatever, not even fucking with Nintendo or Sony. It goes every direction. Okay. If you're just a Nintendo fan, that's fine too. If you're just a PC guy or girl, that's fine too. Because the most important thing of all of this is that you're enjoying yourself, whatever it is you're doing, whatever it is you're playing. Okay. Same thing with anime. Like you got these people who just feel like if you're just not rocking with this, then you're not shit. Okay. Or you don't deserve to be playing games or talking about games. Like I just hate that. I really do, because it's really not about that. It's not, guys. If we were stranded on some island or some shit like that, and you were a Sony guy and all that, you found a fucking Xbox on the island and you hadn't played a game in years, and you found a way to hook this bitch up and play it, you mean to tell me you would not play it? Now, there may be one or two people in the whole world who may fucking feel that way, but most of us are going to say, yo, I want to play a game. I don't give a fuck what it's on. I want to play this shit. I haven't played a game forever. I'm a gamer at heart, because at the end of the day, you're just someone who loves video games. Okay. These names are labels. Okay. Yes, we associate them with things because that's how we decipher who's who in the world, and that goes with everything. But still, at the root of it all, we just want to play our games, and we just want to have fun playing them. And I just would like everybody to share that sentiment, but I know that's not going to happen. But on my show, that's how I like to do it, and it is what it is. So moving forward, let's get off of that train, and let's get into a little bit of some news I wanted to mention earlier in the beginning of the show, but I'll say it now. God of War Ragnarok has officially went gold. So ahead of schedule, actually. So the game is done. They've done everything. They've had plenty of time to get this game up to par. They weren't playing when they said that release date was going to be what it was, November 9th. So it's good. We may have a small patch from day one. I'm wondering how big the patch is going to be. But if the game is gold now, I think we're in a good place right now. I think we're in a really good place. So the games are being printed up as we speak, man. I'm rubbing my hands together like Birdman, waiting on this fucking game. I'm really surprised that God of War the original was only like 40 to 45 gigs in size. I could have sworn it was bigger. It just seemed like it should be bigger. Like I said, the production was just it was creme de la creme. But I also can kind of understand that in the sense that if the team has a dedicated system that they could kind of focus on, that would cut out a lot of the kinks, a lot of the fucking time and unwanted or unneeded space that it had to take up to make this too. So I'm sure that had something to do with it, but I'm excited, man, for this game. It's going to be about 90 gigs right now from what I've been hearing. So I'm actually, cool with that. I thought it'd be around 100, something like that. So yeah. But the patch and all that, be looking for something like that. But I'm excited for the game. It's gold now, so it's being printed, and we're good. Now, other things besides gaming and what's going on, like I'm going to get into what I've been playing, which is, like I said, guys, it's always some new shit. You can't put your money on what most gamers play. If you're a gamer, if you're a true gamer, all right, you kind of jump around sometimes, you know what I mean? You're just playing this or playing that, or you may revisit another game. That's the beauty of it, right? That's the beauty of backlogs, backlog beauty. You get to just fucking whatever. Or you may find a sale on something that you never got a chance to play. And there's a game I never got a chance to play that I'm going to download tonight probably to play it. I'm just in a Batman mood because Batman is around the corner. Well, not Batman, but Arkham Knight is around the corner, and I'm really getting excited to play this stuff, guys. So I just bought on Xbox Game Pass, I just bought Arkham City, okay, which in my opinion, out of all the Arkham games, is the best out of all three of those. All right, that's just my personal opinion. Everybody has their own, but this is mine. So I'm gonna replay this. I'm gonna chop this up and replay it and see where I can get before this game comes out. And I think it's going to be a nice comparison because this is the remastered version, and I'm anxious to see how that looks and just really the combat. Because one thing I hear people bitching and moaning about right now when it comes to this new Arkham Knights game is, and it has some merit to it, I will say that, is that they did not implement a counter system. Okay. At least not that we can see. Okay. Cause when the enemies are about to hit you, you can dodge all day, flip and roll and all this out of your opponent's way, but you cannot counter. I have yet to see a counter, like in the Arkham games, the engine in that game, which is an awesome fighting engine. Okay. So, I mean, if I had any quarrels with the game's combat, that would probably be it. But like I said, I cannot speculate too much until I put the game in my hands. And that's what I'm saying. I'm going to buy this game. There's no doubt about it. There's no getting around it. I'm a Nightwing fan, a huge Nightwing fan too. And I'm going to be anxious to play I want to play with all of them for the most part. Robin, I've seen some gameplay with him recently, and he has really grown on me as a character I might want to start playing as well. I really like his moveset and definitely like his ensemble of his gear, because the gear is stupid crazy. I don't care about what nobody else says. The gear system here in this game, as far as aesthetics go, how your character looks and everything. Oh my God. There's no two Nightwings are going to look the same. I mean, you can kind of mix and match, change the colors as well. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be really crazy. And I think every character starting off, you get like 13 different looks. And these aren't even all the suits. So I'm guessing that there's going to be more unlockable throughout the game, because one thing I did not see is Nightwing's original suit. I did not see his original, with the collar and all that. Like there's some stuff in here that still, I hope they may have put in the game so I could kind of find it later on or whatever. Some of these characters we shall see though. Highly anticipating it. I know that, my friend is kind of upset that you're not going to be able to play as Damien in this because, he thought, oh my God, is that Damien? No, this is not Damien, bro. But, he's still going to be an awesome character to play with. So I like I said, who knows when we get DLC, we could get some extra characters. I don't know, guys, what they plan on doing, but I know I'm going to play this. I haven't played a DC game in a long time since the Arkham series, and I'm been waiting for this and I cannot wait. But I may play Arkham City here in the next week. I may play a little tonight. And, and I'm also going to play Origins. Okay. I've never played Origins. I have never played that one. I've heard it got a little bit of flack because it wasn't like an Arkham Knight, but I'm interested to play that. I'm interested to give it a go. It's free because on my subscription with Sony, I heard, so I'm going to go look it up after the show, and I'm going to download it. Even if I don't play it now, I may play it later, but I want to download it, and I definitely want to go at it. But anyway, that's what I've been playing. Bayonetta, I've been playing right now currently, so I'm running through that. I think I'm at the end. I'm like on chapter 10, so I'm getting close to that, and yeah, and just in anticipation for Bayonetta 3. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. So I'll be playing Bayonetta. I'll definitely be playing Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights probably first, because it comes out first anyway. And then when I wind down on that, I'll try to slip in some. I'll try to slip in some Bayonetta 3. And then I also have to get ready for God of War, which is coming up not too long after that. Still haven't even opened up Solstice yet. So I don't know when I'll get a chance to crack that baby open, but it's there for my backlog. And like I said, it's all good. So if you ask me, guys, I have plenty to play within the next couple months. I'm set. Okay. And I'm still trying to play Xenoverse 2. I still got that in there from time to time. I just re-downloaded Street Fighter 5. Okay. I forgot all the characters that were missing there, and they added since I stopped playing that, in anticipation of, the next game. The next game is going to be crazy. Okay. I seen the create a character, video, and there's going to be some interesting characters in this game that I cannot wait to fucking think about and see and witness, and even my own fighter for that matter. I cannot wait, guys, because I have a channel called Just Your Average Fighter, which is just sitting on idle right now. But when Street Fighter comes out and when Tekken 8 drops, I'm definitely going to be putting videos on there. So I'll definitely be giving it a shout out. You guys can check it out and support if you want. I would appreciate it if you did. But yeah, so just lots of stuff, man. Lots of shit coming down the pipeline as far as anime is concerned. And I'll leave you guys with this. I've been watching my current anime right now. I'm watching The Irregular at Magic High School. The Irregular at Magic High School. That is the anime I'm watching now. Really enjoying myself there. Just started this one a couple of days ago. I think I'm on episode like 7 or something like that. But yeah, this guy and his sister go to this school. It's got magic involved. It's more to it than that. But a lot of these animes are in the same kind of realm or whatever, but it's just different characters and different premises and stuff like that. And that's part of the addiction for me. I don't know. That's what I'm into right now. What I do want to watch, which slipped my mind completely. I never got a chance to go to the movie theater and watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0. I never got a chance to see it. I made plans to go see it, and it just wasn't showing at the theaters. I thought it was in my area, and I just didn't have a chance to go make it. So found it on Crunchyroll, just happened to on a whim and look it up, and it's there. So I'm going to watch that this week. So I'll be definitely talking about that a little bit next week with you guys. And also, there is a Bayonetta anime movie, okay, that I've been trying to watch, and I'm going to tackle that as well. So those are my assignments for this week, at least those 2. And then I'm going to probably watch some more The Irregular at Magic High School. And then I'm going to try to get back into One Piece. I'm going to try to do that, even though it's not dubbed. I'm going to try to get back into it and try to recover before I just stay away from it too long. I don't want to stay away too long. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of things, anime coming out too, like I'm looking forward to, down the line. Jujutsu Kaisen's coming back. And so there's a lot of our favorites that are coming back as well. So, that's where I'm at right now, guys. That is the podcast. I want to thank everybody for coming out, listening, downloading, streaming, however you consume the show. Thank you dearly for lending me your ears. We do this every Monday, same bat time, same bat channel. I hope to see you guys next week. If you want to show more love, more support than you already have, hey, I'm not going to stop you. You can definitely check out StudioMacGyver.com. You can pick up some merch there. You can check out my handles there. You can get at me, message me, whatever you want to do. It's free. Check it out. Well, not the merch, but if you buy any merch, anything, it will definitely go towards helping out the show. Also, all my Dragon Ball fanatics and fans, definitely go to check out DragonBallDrip.com. Get yourself a hoodie. It's getting cold now. Get yourself a coffee mug, put some hot tea or some hot coffee, whatever you want to put in that baby. And buying something there will also go towards helping out the show. Okay. New designs coming. I don't want to I keep saying they're coming, but I've been working on some stuff here in the last this last week. Actually, I got a couple designs I'm kind of like on the cusp on, and I'm going to be uploading them probably in the next couple of months. Like I said, this stuff is this stuff takes time, but it's coming. It's going to be growing. So I'm going to have more things for you guys to check out there, and you can buy and just show support and love. Okay. But yeah, go to any of those sites, guys. Pay homage, check it out, show some love. If not, cool. Just tune in next week and listen to another show. Okay. Next week's it'll be 285, man, almost 300 episodes. It's crazy. Been going at it for a minute. I want to thank all of you for the last time. I love you all. I appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate all the listeners, all the new fans, people coming here, people who stood by me with the name change, the rebranding of the show. Now it's called Random Gameplay Pimpin'. Everybody who's just shown love and support, and I appreciate you all. I love you guys dearly. I'm out. I'm going to go play some games, and yeah, that's it. This is your boy, Studio MacGyver, and you have been listening to Random Gameplay Pimpin'. See you next time.